Kyiv Post obtained an exclusive video showing the Ukrainian military destroying a Russian tank in the Pokrovsky sector using a first-person view, FPV drone. The strike group, Mosquitoes, of the separate consolidated reconnaissance-strike unit of Brodyaga, destroyed the tank. A Ukrainian serviceman with the call sign SIL, Salt, the commander of the crew that destroyed the tank, told Kyiv Post that the Russians continue conducting offensive actions in the Pokrovsky sector in the Donetsk region. The occupiers conducted another assault with the support of tanks and other armored vehicles, he said. The Russian tank tried to fire at the positions of the Ukrainian military, but was destroyed with the help of an FPV drone. The video from the drone's camera first shows a direct hit on the tank, then an overhead shot as it continues to burn. The footage quality does not allow for determining exactly which tank model was affected. The cost of the drone used in the mission is approximately $15,000 to $20,000, $372 $496. This stands in stark contrast to the significantly higher cost of the equipment destroyed. For example, the value of an older Soviet T-72 can cost nearly $500,000. The cost of a new T-72 tank ranges from $3 to $4 million, depending on the configuration. FPV drones, which can drop explosives or serve as kamikaze drones, are causing heavy damage on the battlefield. A Russian soldier recently pleaded on social media to pump shotguns to counter the Ukrainian drones, stating, "They're simply burning through us." On the flip side, up to 90% of wounded Ukrainian soldiers treated at stabilization points have been injured by FPV drones or explosives dropped by drones. Dmytro Lysenko, a drone pilot with the 109th Separate Territorial Defense Brigade of Ukraine's armed forces, hunts for Russian soldiers and heavy armor almost daily in the Donetsk region. He told Kyiv Post that during his time in the trench, while the Russians would shoot at them with everything possible, the drone was the scariest. A shell can fly and miss, and that's it. But a drone pilot aims and will be very accurate when they drop an explosive, he said. Special Operations Forces often report destroying enemy manpower concentrations with FPV drones. For instance, Special Ops reported the elimination of more than a dozen Russian soldiers during a successful mission. The SSO also managed to destroy various pieces of military equipment, including armored personnel carriers, tanks, anti-aircraft missile gun complexes, self-propelled artillery pieces, howitzers, mortar positions, and even TOS-1A 220mm Sontsepyok, MLRS fitted with thermobaric warheads. Russia has lost its highest ever number of artillery systems in a one-month period, according to Ukrainian officials. An official post on X, formerly Twitter, from the Ministry of Defense of Ukraine, claimed that 1,415 Russian artillery systems were destroyed in June, which it said is a record since the beginning of the full-scale invasion in February 2022. Russia doesn't publish its military losses, and analysts are skeptical of reports released by both sides. Kyiv also claimed that 1,160 artillery systems were destroyed in May. Ukraine's latest update puts Moscow's artillery losses at around 14,600. The reported losses come as Ukraine also claimed Russia had suffered its second highest monthly personnel loss in June, of 35,030 soldiers. Last week, Ukraine's defense ministry reported that the Russian military had lost 12 tanks, 51 artillery systems, and 71 vehicles within the space of 24 hours, as well as 27 unmanned aerial vehicles, UAVs, 2 cruise missiles, and 20 pieces of special equipment. On Monday, Ukraine's defense ministry said Russia had lost over 1,000 troops in a day. The British government estimated in May that total Russian casualties had likely reached 500,000. Ukraine's security service at the weekend published footage appearing to show the country's forces recapturing an outpost in the Black Sea from Russia 2 years ago, although Newsweek couldn't independently verify the video. On Monday, Russia experienced widespread outages following Ukrainian drone barrages in the Kursk, Belgorod, and Bryansk regions overnight, according to a Telegram channel that claims links to Russia's security services. Russia is seeking to strengthen its relations with anti-Western powers as it looks for allies to back its war in Ukraine. Citing an unnamed senior U.S. official on Saturday, Middle East Eye reported that President Vladimir Putin was considering arming the Houthis in Yemen with anti-ship ballistic cruise missiles. Separately, Pavel Muravenko, chief of the General Staff of Belarus's armed forces, warned on Sunday that the Eastern European country, which shares borders with Russia and Ukraine, is prepared to use nuclear weapons if its independence and sovereignty are threatened. Belarus is a close ally of Russia. We've learned how to handle these weapons. We know how to apply them confidently. We are able to do it. And you can be sure, we will do it if the sovereignty and independence of our country is threatened, Muravenko said in an interview with local TV, state-owned Belarusian news agency Belta reported. Russia also maintains close economic ties with China, and Putin has been strengthening his relationship with North Korea, adding to concerns in the West.